Sheriff Boardman. My head is sitting there, but thank you again for coming, sir, tonight, and we really appreciate that. This evening made magnificent. And Sheriff as well, the both Boardmen are here to Sugarland. So thank you, nice to have you, sir. I appreciate it. Personal Council General, Mr. Abraham Hashmi, I really appreciate your kind honor that come by and to visit us and to celebrate with us, with these gentlemen and respected people and the students. And also, Sir, Mr. Jesse Jadal, our newly respected. He's a good friend of mine as well, by the way. And he's a Republican. So I have to say I'm very deliberate on that case. And it's a deliberate attempt. I want to tell you that I'm not going to often like how I continue to talk. That my job is to tonight and vision is to work together. This is our country, this is our county, this is our city, Houston, and just into Portland, Kennedy, Sugarland, and everything. So that's what this is all about. And that's already enough talked about how the institute we are planning to develop a big building over there, and hopefully in the near future I have dedicated and gave information about the right in the middle of the town myself, and hopefully we will be successful in these things. And also, ladies and gentlemen, other people, Mr. Thakur, Bashir Shani, my nephew, my family members, my wife, Mrs. Dahri, she is here as well, and Mr. Arsalan, who actually, my hair's up, again, hair's up there, I have to bring it, I don't know what's going on with me. So, my head off. So, thank you very much for, setting up this whole kind of nice gathering tonight and dinner and everything. And rest of the time, I won't take that much time because you guys are supposed to talk and educate us. So what to do as far as law enforcement, as far as considering Mr. Hashmi Saab, how to be a good diplomat in future, children, and all the things, any other things, informative things we really appreciate. And Mr. Desi Jatan, he's going to also, by the way, and is going to House of Representatives in the state of Texas. So hopefully he's going to make a lot of, he has made already lots of promises with us. So remember that. We will come to you and knock the doors. And I will even travel myself to Arsalan. And by the way, he will be going to take the off ceremony next year, January 2021. Hopefully he will invite all of us. And there's a celebration over there. So, what else I forgot? I don't know what else to say tonight. It has already spoken, my daughter. And rest of all, God lay upon your shoulders. And also, excuse me, by the way, that's kind of eccentric thing I'm talking about. All of these, so far, as far as I gathered from my the information that you are all elected, newly elected. And Jessica, you are also as well. So you have lots of things to do in the future. You will be the future of the congressman. You will be the FBI, and you will be the director, FBI director, law enforcement, and so many other things you will accomplish, and you lead the nation in so many ways. I remember that one of the mayor, former mayor, Mr. I forgot his name, then he became law. Mr. Clinton's administration, he became his chief advisor in FBI as well, Homeland Secretary, right from Houston. So those things, you are regardless of the age, regardless of anything, you will be the future of this country. And we have lots of work to do. You have to do lots of work to do, and you have certainly embarked these challenges. And we just pray for you and encourage you. And any way we can possibly serve you, help you, being as a committee member, anything, because we are just simple, your citizen. Remember that. We are your citizen. We have given responsibilities. Hopefully you will accomplish those things with respect, with everything, which you will do. I don't have to tell you about that. And you are politicians and everything. Thank you so much tonight, and thank you for coming tonight. I really am happy about it. So thank you so much, Honorable Judge. We have lots of things to do in the Justice Department, so hopefully we'll be proud of you. That's all I can say. Thank you very much, Arsalan.
Okay, thank you, Dahri. So, we will invite State Representative Jesse Gaten. He ran for election to the Texas House of Representatives to President District 26. He won the general election on November 3rd. He has been elected with National Coalition for Family Justice. And I would like to have Mr. Mahmood represent the district to Jesse Gaten. This is our culture adjourned. And 2 words.
Oh, it's so good to see everybody again. It was like forever since I've been to see everybody. I don't know how many lot of team days this has been now, but it's good to spend another team day with everyone. It's teachings and poems of Shah Latif always seem to be great lessons for us. And I think today is more important than ever. I want to thank you all for your support over the years, your friendship, and opportunity you've given me to represent you in Austin. This next session is going to be a very interesting one. It's going to have a lot of challenges. As you know, we've gone through a lot with COVID, and we're going to go to Austin and work on a budget that helps to ensure that we have the funding we need for education and healthcare. And we're going to work on other important issues. I know we have a lot of law enforcement officers here. We're going to continue to work hard to make sure that you have the tools and resources you need to keep our community safe. It is so crucial to our democracy, to achieving the American dream, to have communities that are safe. And that has been something that we've talked about during the campaign and will continue to be an important part of what we do, is making sure our communities are safe. And the other part of that is ensuring we have a stronger economy. And so we're going to continue to work and make sure that we are unleashing the Texans to go out and build businesses and get good jobs and get a good education so that they can go and achieve the American dream, because that is why we're all here. That's why so many of us moved to Texas, because Texas has been a great place to achieve that American dream. And so we're going to do that this next session. I want to ensure that you know that we will do everything possible to make sure that you are able to communicate with us. There's some questions about how open the Capitol will be. I can assure you that I will be available. If you ever have any questions, concerns, please always feel free to reach out. If we can't meet at the Capitol, we'll meet somewhere. We'll do phone calls, emails, Zoom meetings, whatever is necessary. I want to hear from you. I want to know what's on your mind and what's important to you to make sure that we're achieving those things in Austin. So thank you all for your time. Mr. Consul General, thank you for being here. Mama Dahri, thank you always for the invitation, and it's so good to see everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Justice Salam. And I would like to thank you, our media partners, Memon from Urdu Times. Thank you for coming here, and they always been with us and giving us coverage and every time. Okay, let's see who I have another one on my list. Okay, Sheriff Aid Gonzalez. He's the Harris County Sheriff in Texas. Gonzalez represented Harris on the Houston City Council. He was first elected to the council in 2009 and served until January 2016. Gonzalez ran for election for sheriff in Texas. He won the general election November 3rd. Thank you, Judge. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's a great honor to be with you. Assalamu alaikum. I really appreciate the vision that was shared here today. Thank you, sir, for your leadership and vision to bring people together, to remind us all at the end of the day that we're all part of humanity. that we can all collaborate and help one another regardless of our party affiliation. We can all come together and find common ground to make all communities better. Our region is very international. When I served on city council, I knew that 1 in every 4 Houstonians was born in another country. So we come from many places. My family from Mexico, from others from Pakistan, India, many other places. But we could all come together to support one another, make all communities better. For me, my passion and my life's work has been public safety. You know, I want to congratulate my fellow members here that are here as well. You know, new Sheriff Fagan as well from Fort Bend. He's going to do a terrific job, and we all work together because we know that when it comes to public safety, sometimes what happens in Harris County goes over to Fort Bend County, or Fort Bend County comes here, and also to my fellow constable for Precinct 2 in county government in Harris County. He's going to do phenomenal work. I've known him for many, many years. He's going to do great. The judge as well. We look forward to working together as well. But just want to thank you all for the invitation here tonight. It means a lot to us. This is now my second term, so I'm very blessed to have been reelected once again, and so I'm proud to serve as your Harris County Sheriff. So thank you very much.
And I will invite Ghulam Memon to come and represent Adret.
And I'm very honored to receive this. My friend here at the table was telling me how historic the design is, and thousands of years old, and so it's an honor to be able to have it.
Thank you, Sheriff. I would like to invite Sheriff Eric Fagan. Is a Fort Bend County Sheriff elected in Texas. Fagan has been proud resident for Fort Bend County since 1991, and he devoted 34 years of his life career serving and protecting Houston area communities. Welcome, Eric Fagan, Sheriff in town in Fort Bend.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. Thank you so much for the kind invitation. And I'm very glad to be here this evening, and I'm very happy to find out the reason to bring all the elected officials together, Republicans and Democrats. Because when it comes down to it, it's not about being a Republican or a Democrat or independent. It's about being a human being. Fort Bend County is the most diverse county in the nation. The most diverse in the nation. It took 151 years for a sheriff to come to Fort Bend County of another color. That shouldn't happen in the next 151 years. So I want to see, after my administration, to see someone who looks like me to take my place. Someone who looks like you to take my place, because it can be done. And how can it be done? By us sticking together. Sticking together to vote people into office who represent us, represent our wishes and our goals. For be it being Democrat or Republican, people who care about the human race, that's who we need to elect. So I'm very proud to be here. I'm very proud to be the next sheriff of Fort Bend County. I ask for your support and your help to bring Fort Bend County into the 21st century with technology and studies. I promise that Fort Bend County Sheriff's Department command staff will reflect the county that we live in currently. I'm proud to have on my staff the most diverse ever in Fort Bend County. I have a Pakistani, I have an Asian, African American, Indian, Muslim. I have all, right, I'm trying to represent all people of Fort Bend County. And to do that is bringing them in, but not just because of that, they are qualified individuals. I'll put up every person I put in the command staff against anyone that you can think of to put against them. Fort Bend deserves that. Your children deserve to see someone in charge that looks like them. So that's what I want to do, and that's what I am doing in Fort Bend County. Again, thank you, and God bless.
So I will call for Mr. Essa Bhurgri to come and represent the other to share. Constable Jerry Garcia, the man, right, has been part of the community for over 22 years, both as peace officer and a community leader. Jerry has worked tirelessly to make our community a better place. He ran for election to Harris County Constable Precinct 2 in Texas and won general election on November 3rd. Welcome, Jerry. I have a few words for us.
First and foremost, God be with you. I want you all to know that I am very honored and privileged to be here with you tonight. Our people, our Pakistani, our Indian community, we have the same stories as our Hispanic community. Me coming from a Mexican background, my father came 60-some years ago looking for a better life for him and his family. And I know a lot of us here today have done the same, coming from Pakistan and Indian. So I understand the same. We have the same struggles. I grew up in a poor, underserved, underprotected neighborhood. I know what it's like to be pushed aside, neglected, not taken seriously. Currently, the environment that we are existing in between law enforcement and our citizens, it's not very well. It's not very good, as you all know. What I intend to do is I want to bring good-hearted people. The number one priority for me was not experienced officers. It was, do you have a good heart? That was the very first thing that I saw or that I was looking for. And then, of course, number two is experience. We need to change the climate. You all know that there's a lot of hate in the world right now. We need to love each other. I was taught, my mother, I lost her 10 years ago, and everything that I know today is because of her. And she always would tell me, you love everybody, even if they don't love you back, you love them. So what I want to do here today is I want to offer myself to you, to your community. God placed me in a position where I can truly help. When I was coming up, I've been a law enforcement officer for 22 years, almost 23 years, and I would see the mistakes that people were making, and I said, if I had that position, I would do this or I would do that, and they're wrong, and I wish I could do something, but I wasn't in a position where I could do anything. I worked hard, I kept my nose clean, and God placed me in a position now where I can say, look, I can actually do something. So again, I offer myself to you. I offer my position to you. This is your power, and God has placed me in a position to where I can give it back to you. Unfortunately, a lot of us, when we get in these positions, we forget where we come from, and we forget whose power this really is. I will never forget, this power belongs to you. You gave me the ability to be in this position, and I promise you I will not let you down. My heart is pure. I have no malintent. I'm here for you. So please take advantage of me. Take advantage of my position, because after all, it is yours. So again, thank you for having me. I feel very honored. And when I saw that you were given a scarf, I got really happy because I've seen them on TV and in the movies, and I said, finally I can have it. So I truly thank you all so much. Thank you.
So I will invite aijaz almani to come and represent the Dahri church. Aijaz Almani is our Sindhi radio host. He does that every Sunday evening, 6 to 8 p.m. Thank you, sir. Now, all the law enforcement is done, so now we have time for judges, you know. So we got a judge in front of us, Judge Israel Garcia. Is a judge elected for Precinct 5, Place 1 of the Harris County Justice of Peace in Texas. Garcia earned a bachelor's degree from University of Texas, Austin in 1988, and a law degree from Kirk Marshall School of Law at Texas Southern University. His career experience includes working as an attorney and counselor at law, private practice. Garcia has been affiliated with several organizations, and he won the election as a judge. So please be worshipful.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here. I hope my wife is not listening, but this is absolutely the best food I've ever eaten. Please don't hold that against me. She's going to see the difference of this. But I thank you so much. I'm not a professional politician by any means. I've been practicing law for 28 years. And if somebody had told me you're going to run for office and you're going to win on your first time, I would have laughed at it. But this is where we are. 2 years ago, I decided that I wanted to serve the public, and I took on a judge who had been on the bench for 17 years. In fact, this is Precinct 5 where we're sitting right now. It is the largest justice of peace precinct in the state of Texas. We hear about 5,000 cases a month. We hear about 5,000 cases a month. There's over 1 million residents in Precinct 5 who goes here to Katy, parts of where it goes to Walker County line. So it's a huge, huge precinct. I was joking with my friends earlier, and I said, you know, when I'm at home now, as I'm waiting to take the oath of office, I feel like I should be knocking on doors and meeting people because I've been doing that for 2 years, so I'm kind of like having withdrawals here. You know, but it's an honor. It's an honor to have seen my name on the ballot and won, because as everyone else here has echoed, we are your servants. We are servants of the public. And I'm going to wake up every morning energized and ready to work, and I want to serve you. And I want you to know that I'm going to be the easiest person to get a hold of. I don't want you calling me today, please. My cell phone number's on my card. But I do that because a lot of people don't know their judges. A lot of people don't know what the role of a judge is. And so I'm going to take my position. I'm going to be an educating judge, an activist judge. I want to be on radio programs, TV programs, explaining what the rights are at this level, at the justice and peace level. And this role is going to be magnified nationwide on December 31st when the CDC moratorium expires. Because what does that mean? We're going to see evictions all over the country. And this is going to be one of the most important subjects in our lifetimes because, you know, we don't need people on the street. We don't need families on the street. We don't need kids being displaced, families being displaced because they can't pay the rent. So this is why elections matter, because right now, the judge that was sitting there, or is sitting there, has heard the most evictions in Harris County. And that really, that's a tragedy. And so I'm going to change that. And with your support, your help, I want to be the best justice of peace in Precinct 5 has ever had. And I thank you once again. And it's an honor to be here.
I will invite Mr. Anwer Nizamani to come and stage and present a direct judge. Yeah, please take off your mask so you can have a good picture. So we have in our Mr. Counsel General Hashim. I would like to have him on the stage. Mr. Hashim is a diplomat. Before joining Counsel General, he held important assignments both at Pakistan Mission Abroad and Ministry of Affairs Islamabad. I would like to invite the stage so he can say a few words to our elected officials and have them, whatever, okay, and what we need to do.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. A very good evening to every one of you. And my congratulations to newly elected public representatives and the civic and law enforcement representatives. Unlike USA, public service in Pakistan is still a very distinctly divided subject. So we stay away from politics. We are career civil servants and we stay away from politics. So there's a joke which goes on in Pakistan, and I'll just, for the understanding of those who don't understand Urdu, Punjabi or any other language that way, they say JJUL. So जो भी जीतेगा मैं उसके साथ. So whosoever wins, we are on their side. So that's how we do it as civil servants in Pakistan. It has negative connotations also, but let's keep them aside. So, congratulations, Judge Gasha. Thank you very much, and I respect your sentiments. And really, a civil or any public servant should be like that. Accessible, has vision, and also gets up and renews that vision in the morning. And just thank you very much for being elected for the state, representing this region, and you have huge task. I know you're getting huge paycheck of $600 a month. And don't tell a Pakistani politician. Then Fort Bend Sheriff is here. Thank you very much for representing that diversity and celebrating that diversity. Eric, you have reminded us that is how Shah Latif has really a message of universality, and that appeals, and that still appeals and holds true. And Sheriff Gonzalez, you're an old name. We know you, and you have been holding Harris County, I think the largest county in the state. Thank you very much for your public service. And Mahmood, this is an honor being here, and all of you, the volunteers, and those who are behind this idea of Shah Latif Culture Center. And I respect your vision and also pray and hope that this center sees the light of the day very soon. Why I say so it's very, very important that we tell our children who they are, what is their heritage. They're not lost anywhere. So we have a very, very rich history, a rich heritage of our own. And I tell you, I'm not someone who will say that I know it for sure, but being a student of social science, I can vouch for that if our children know where they belong to, they're the most confident kids in their life. And the literature, the rich literature and the culture Sindhi community represents, it's one of the oldest cultures we have. And if we let it loose and we do not tell our kids and pass it on, it's one of the noble duties, I think, of each parent to pass that on their kids so that they live with that confidence. And that confidence will only come once we let them know and tell them what values it represented. And we in South Asia, especially, we say in this civilization, it has longest history of cohabitation. It is the longest history of diversity in the world, stretching back the history by 3000 BC to 9000 BC. So from Mirajgarh, now we see the remnants of a history with 9000 BC old, and that is what Sindhi community represents, together with other communities such as Guruji community. And once we go further north, and we have Afbai, Essa, with the Pashto community and other communities, it has a long stretch of history, which is again 2200 years before Christ. So that history, if you go, this brings down to Mirajgarh, 9000 BC, and that's what we present. And Shah Latif Bhatai's sayings, his work, his poetry represents that richness. So that's very, very important. Being a student of history and social science, I can vouch for it. If our kids do not know, it's a huge loss. Thank you very much for organizing this evening and
Thank you, sir. And for I'll invite Karim Sheikh to come on the stage and represent Ajrak to council. Council going to talk about Shah Latif Bhatai. Who's Shah Latif? Is a very old poet, as famous in Sindh. For talk about more about Shah Latif, who he is, where he do, what's his poetries and everything, I would invite Mr. Talat Thakur to come on stage and talk about Shah Latif Bhatai. So please.
Good evening, everybody. I am not a scholar by any means, and first of all, I want to thank you all for coming here, making this evening a great evening for all the elected officials as well as the people who organized this event. And special thanks to Mr. Dahri, Mr. Arsalan, Mr. Dr. See, I can't see that far, but I knew you were there. Dr. Bhurgri, if you can stand up so people can see you. And Mr. Mahmood, wherever he is. So these are the gentlemen who organized this evening together. Now, going back to the Shah, our Consul General very eloquently described in summary what this culture is all about. It's a historical culture. You have to understand that world cultures were created by the rivers. So one of the most prominent culture and river that you know of is Nile, which is in Egypt. And you have seen the civilization of Egyptian civilization, pyramids and everything. And then the next one is Mesopotamia, which is in Iraq. It's one of the oldest civilizations along with the Nile. And then the third civilization was on the Indus River. And the people over there, basically the river starts from Tibet in Europe, in China, and goes down all the way to the Arabian Sea. So people settled on those rivers to make a living because they depend on the rivers to flood the land, and these were all agriculture people who depend on agriculture like we do in America. In America, basically, our Mississippi River produces tremendous amount of agriculture for all the states that it touches. And so is the rivers in Amazon, in Brazil. I can talk about Shah. Shah was a poet. Shah was a mystic. Shah was a writer who wrote stories, who wrote poetry. he also was Sufi. Now let me describe to you Sufis. Sufis are the people who have the love of God. They believe that the God has created them and they have a direct contact with God. They don't believe necessarily in organized religion, like for example, Christianity or Buddhism or Judaism or Islam for that matter. They believe that God has created them. They need no one to be their leader in order to lead them to God. They have a direct contact. So Shah, in his poetry, describes about the Sufism. His poetry belongs to Sufism and says things like, your relationship with God is unique. Now, I'll give you an example that many of you have heard, Jalaluddin Rumi. Now, those who are Americans probably don't know who Rumi is, but Rumi was a big Sufi saint. He was in Turkey, and he was before Shah. So Shah Abdul Latif Bidai, Bidai is the place where he was born. He was also an immigrant like most of us are in America. They say that he came from Iran, and he settled in Sindh, and that's where he started his parents came from Iran. That's where he started his teaching of Sufism. Now the dinner is over, and I know that everybody's ready to leave, and I don't want to hold a lot of people here in order to give them a lecture about Shah. But the moral of this meeting was that Mr. Dahri, as his daughter eloquently stated, to build a community, it's called, for right now we can call it Pakistani Republican Club. The purpose of the club is to bring the diversity together, bring the Republicans, Democrats, everybody together in order to serve the public. Or you all speak about the public, you all spoke about to serve the public. But what happens when we become tied to our beliefs, for that matter, or ideology, if you want to call it, then we separate ourselves from our goal. The goal is to serve people. So I commend Mr. Mahmood for having the vision to come up with this idea and also build a cultural center in Shah Latif, whose idea, the name came because of his teaching, because we want to teach people that how important it is to take care of the diversity. We have learned, I mean, some of you said that you came from Mexico and your parents migrated here from, technically Texas belonged to Mexico. California belonged to Mexico. You're home. You didn't come here. You belong here. You were here before we got here. So by no means that you have anything to say to us that you are an immigrant. You are the native. You probably, some of you have the Native American blood in you. So boy, if anybody has the right on this country, is that you. So I'll leave it at that. I mean, this evening has been long. I just wanted to thank our host for this wonderful evening and his team who put this together. And maybe next time I can go more in detail about explaining the Shah. But at this time, I will let you have a better evening. We will work from the side of the wall. Thank you very much for your time.
And you don't need an adjective because we have a good.
There you go. I got an adjective right here. I got an adjective right here. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming. Thanks. I want to give a big hand.